Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel in our Royal Edition, where we're going to cover Raise Club, that exclusive members-only portal from Recteq. We're also going to do some royalty items within our smoke box, with a crown pork roast and some really nice salmon. So what is Raise Club? Primarily, it's a way that Recteq maintains engagement with its customers. It's free to join, you get early access to benefits and promotions, and they got a club-only portal with club-only merchandise. So a lot of interesting and specific things that are available only to those that want to engage and join. Okay, now one of those items that's exclusive is Ray's Mystery Box. It's one of those things where you just take a chance and see what they're going to send you. In this case, I got a nice Ray's Club spice caddy to hold all the spices and paper towels and whatnot. And then in that box, got a basting brush and a nice big one actually for doing pork and everything. Some twine for cooking and supporting that. It's got a nice needle in there to help thread things through and be more effective. Whole hog rub, I gotta tell you, that stuff was worth the price of admission. And sauce, that too. Now, these aren't sold in any of their other lineup. That's just what they have. Some stickers and a branding iron, which, I try to make use of, but I got to practice on that thing. But that spice and that sauce, whoa, that was good stuff. So with the mystery box spices and sauce in mind, I decided to get royal with a crown pork roast inside the smoke box, using that new convection fan I put in place to give it some extreme smoke, and then basically, after the smoking period, finishing the roast on the indirect side. Meaning, just bringing everything up to, temperature and whatnot, kind of like what I did with the sausages. Now, to get started, liberally applied that seasoning onto the roast that, my man Charlie did over at Randall's for me. In this case, he did half a rack, and I got to tell you, he did a really good job of, getting that cut up right. After seasoning, rested that in the fridge for 2 hours just to let everything marinate in and get in place. Following that, entered the smoke box for 2 hours. And we wanted to get basically a fair amount of smoke on there, concentrated smoke on there, and just test out that theory. As mentioned, I've tinted the bones with the foil and put this on the lower rack with that convection fan above that helped to effectively equalize temperatures in there and get good smoke circulation all the way through and around the roast. I gotta tell you, this worked out as expected. I mean, it did exactly what I wanted. And I gotta say, if you own a Recteq smoke box, absolutely make this investment. It is working well. Okay, so after about 2 hours of that concentrated smoke, it's time to bring it up to temp, in this case 140 degrees, roasting at 375. So from here, basically it's just a matter of transferring to the indirect side. So we're getting the probes in place and making sure that we have everything centered the way we want it. Now, that in mind, taking out that convection fan was as simple as just pulling it down, unplugging it, and then just removing the cable from that spare outlet that they have on the back of the Recteq controller. Really, it was that easy, nothing to it. And as you see there, I mean, just some really good color on that roast. I mean, that seasoning combined with the smoke was really nice. Yep, and wanted to get some wireless probes in there just in case I needed to rotate this thing a few times during the cook. Now at 120 degrees, it was time to do the glaze. So at this point, I got that Raise Club sauce, and I mixed in about half a cup of brown sugar here. The idea is just to get a really good coating all the way through, and then get that all set and tacky once it was back into place. And that whole hog sauce, I gotta tell you, it worked out very, very well. I'm definitely impressed with that. It's kind of a shame that it's a members only thing, because I know I'd get more of that if I could, for sure. And again, as that thing tacked up and set up, we got a deep mahogany color in place, and 20 minutes later we were done. So it was time to pull that out. And I got to tell you, this was smelling as good as it looks there, and it worked out fantastic. Okay, and not to brag here or anything, but just take another look at that. I mean, really, that was awesome. So now it came time to test this out and get into carving, and it was really tender. I mean, this came out really well. I followed a little bit of the meat church pattern in terms of, the pork crown roast, and I gotta say that worked out as well. That whole technique worked out well. I just used, the Raised Club, seasonings and everything, but tons of juice. I mean, just all over the place. I mean, I kept having to sop everything up, and you'll see it just running off the platter there. And the smoke ring on there was excellent. The layers of flavor were perfect. I gotta tell you, this is one of the best roasts I think I've ever made. Okay, now as fate has it, the salmon was on sale at my grocery store. And I got to thinking, okay, as good a flavor as that, whole hog seasoning was, how would that work on the salmon, right? So I decided to use the Greek on one half of the salmon, the whole hog on the other, and just, give it a shot. Sprinkle dill on both of those, let that marinate in the refrigerator there for a little bit, and then it was off to throw that, into the smoker with the convection set up. Now at that time, I went ahead and got about 2 hours worth of smoke on that fish, and then moved it over to the indirect side to bring it up to temperature. And in this case, I'm looking at about 125 to 135, and accompanying that with some bread. You had a loaf of bread that was on sale there too. And I think that came out pretty good, but I was a little concerned that I put a little too much heat, cooked it a little bit too much, and I think I did. But nonetheless, it was smelling great, and both of those seasonings gave it a little bit of a crisp crust. Nothing thick, but just a little snap to it that was really nice, and had, a good smoke ring on that as well as soft one. Okay, salmon, Greek style. Good flavor. That seasoning crisped up on the top just right. Now raise. I'm very impressed. It's good. Okay, now that was so good, I actually had to do this again. Like I said, the grocery store had this on sale. So several days later, I just went at it one more time. I mean, it was really that good. It's hard to describe it. I mean, it added almost like a subtle, kind of pork bacon flavor, to the fish. And the way that salmon fat just kind of mixed in with it and the smoke ring. I mean, it was genuinely, good. I mean, I just had to do it again. So, same process as before. Got everything together. This time I hit it to about 124 degrees and then stopped there. Still had that a little bit of that secretion on there, but the tenderness on this, the flavor on this, guys, I'm telling you, they need to make that whole hog seasoning a regular. Now, just a quick note about something that impressed me during this cook. Specifically, temperature management in the smoke box with the convection fan in place was phenomenal. I was actually able to raise the indirect temperature to 250 and finish the cook in the smoke box. All right, living in Texas means one piece of royalty, and that is King Ranch Chicken Casserole. This is basically like a enchilada casserole in a way, but it is very much a crowd pleaser. Basically grilled chicken off the Recteq dual fire direct side, combined with a lot of ingredients. The secret here is the prep of these ingredients, okay? Now, I borrowed this recipe from Meat Church, and about the only thing I did not do was put in the cream of jalapeno. Instead, I subbed a block of cream cheese, okay? So I'm going to include a link to the description for this recipe, down below. And this is definitely something that the family enjoyed, without a doubt. It's got pretty much everything that you like in there, from cream cheese to cheese, fresh chicken, number of things. Now, one of the secret ingredients is crushed up Doritos. And in our case, this is the taco seasoning old school Doritos. Really enjoyed that. And the other thing I did was put some fresh fried corn tortillas down on the bottom of this. That's just my take on it. I kind of like, doing that. Power tip there, spray this thing good with Pam so it makes for an easy cleanup. It matters. Basically, you're going to layer the chicken, spread that you mix up in between a couple of layers of these tortillas, and get that in good. For presentation, one of the things I like to do is put a lot of cheese on the top. You can never go wrong with cheese. And then I put tomatoes up here with fresh jalapenos that are washed so they're not that spicy in between there. Comes out smelling great, awesome. And I use that Recteq Loco. I gotta tell you, this is the recipe for that Recteq Loco. Now I'm also going to include one other thing, which is a simple side. This is one of those dump in a crock pot and go kind of things. In this case, got some sliced bacon bits that we put up on the bottom. You can use sliced pork on that too. Couple onions or one large onion going in place, sliced and layered on top of that. Then the next piece is basically the peas or green beans of your choice. In this case, they had frozen Italian cut beans, and so I put those on there, and then layered some yellow squash on top because that was in season 2. I'm a fan of the squash. Now, one of my favorites is smoked black pepper. This is from Southside Market in Elgin. It just has a great flavor to it. Sprinkle a little bit of that on top. Fill this thing up with water in terms of getting it close to near the top, because you're going to have a lot of water in the vegetables themselves that's going to come out. Put that on low for 6 to 8 hours or high for 5 to 6. At the end of this, trust me, you got a nice side dish. Okay, by now you guys know I love to leave you with something, a little sweet to think about. This is a cherry custard pie from Chef Pierre. I'm going to include a link to this recipe down below. It's simple to make, a minimal number of ingredients, but with cherries, fresh cherries in season, this is something you gotta try. So I hope you give this one a try and enjoy it. Anyhow, we did. It must be Zen time. And yeah, do me a favor, like and subscribe and give me some comments. Truly appreciate it.